And what is up, everyone? Welcome back to this here, the Frito Bandito Tageria. My name is The Feral. I am finally back from a good vacation. Had a lot of fun, and we were able to have lots of fun up in the state of Utah, visiting my in-laws. There was a lot of things that happened, though. However, all in all, it was a good vacation. My kids had a great time with their grandparents, had a great time with cousins, had got to see a lot of cool stuff. I seriously knocked out almost an entire work project while I was there. So I played a lot of Final Fantasy 14. Honestly, I can't complain about how the overall vacation was. However, I have things that I can complain about. And we're going to complain about them right now. So here's what we got, okay? So we got a map. Here, hold on. We're gonna zoom in. Okay, so we got a map of my drive, okay? My drive started about here, somewhere up there, okay? So we start taking the 15 down. So we take the 15 down, doing great. Stop at St. George. That was our first legitimate stop, was from here all the way to here. This was a multitude of hours. Got to St. George, took a break, took a bathroom break, got some drink, gassed up the car with diesel, which this is important to the story. The fact that my car is a diesel is very, very pertinent to this story. So we go from St. George, and now we're going to zoom in on this map just a little bit more, and we're going to take a snapshot because I have to drive the route that my family drove from up there down to my back down the valley. Okay, all right. So you start here in St. George, and you're following down here, Mesquite, no problem. Get down through here. So now we get into Vegas. Now, usually Vegas is one of the reasons why we leave stupid but early in the morning. We left at about 6. We left about 7 in the morning. Usually we like to leave around somewhere between 5 and 6. But we hit a little bit of lunch traffic. Not too bad. So we start going through Vegas, and we get till about there. And about there, we see a huge sign on the freeway saying, I-15 closed in the valley. And I start to freak out. I look at my wife and I say, whoa, hold on here, dear. We need to pull over and we need to figure this out. And we need to figure this out now, because basically from here to here is nothing. You got something in Prim. Prim is known as State Line. And State Line has been unfortunately reduced dramatically over the past couple of years. Gene's got a big A gas station. It's one of the biggest gas stations in the nation. So Gene's not a bad spot to stop. Prim's got a couple places to stop. But basically, between Prim and Baker, you got nothing. And then from Baker to Barstow, you got nothing. So this whole issue, we pull over and we figure out there is a truck that had lithium-ion batteries in it, and it got involved in an accident, and it caught fire. So those of you that know anything about lithium-ion batteries, that's a gigantic, massive environmental hazard, not to mention a gigantic, explodey environmental hazard. So, screw you, environmentalists. That's where we're going to start the tribulation part of the story. Screw you, electric vehicle, jerk face, lying, rat, butt faces known as environmentalists.
But don't, as a part of this story, they get their just desserts.
Yes, they do. Okay, so here's
Continue.
what happened. So my
Oh,
wife and
and
I.
by the way, folks, I'm William Paul.
Yes.
I'm also here in the Peanut Gallery. Continue, Farrell.
William Paul is here. So we then. Oh, by the way, the accident is here, right before Barstow. Okay. Between here and Barstow, you have one road that leads to Barstow. Between Baker and Barstow, you have no other real routes, folks. Okay, so now here's what happens. We get to here, and we look up on Waze. And Waze says, oh, everything's just peachy. Just drive through the 15. You know what, Waze? You're going to get this a lot tonight, Waze.
That's not a good call. No.
No. You see, the problem is, Waze did not accurately dictate the entire 15 freeway was shut down. Okay? That's kind of an important part. Right here, the entirety of the 15 is 100% shut down, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to add a blue dot right here. That's our problem area, okay? Actually, no. It's probably we'll put it right about here for clarity's sake. This will be important later. This looks like a middle finger. I'm gonna keep it. So, we're gonna go back to red. So, actually, no. We're gonna go purple. Okay. So, we look up Waze. We're just like, okay, what are we gonna do? Well, we have this road, the 40. Okay, so what we're looking at is we're looking at a road called SEMA Road. Now, if you've driven the 15, you've seen in Gene and Prim billboards about SEMA Road. SEMA Road has the famous date shake, a shake made from dates. And I have no idea what freaks are going to drive out in the middle of desert for a freaking date shake. No, you people are stupid. What are you doing? Don't go out in the middle of the desert for a date shake. There's better places to get better shakes.
Wait. How? So they only make their shakes on April 25th?
Yes. Because that's the perfect date. Because it's not too hot, not too cold. All you need is a light sweater. So, moving on. Yes, I am well versed in miscongeniality quotes. So we were thinking, okay, how do we get to the 40? Okay, 40's down here. We found a road, and this road started in SEMA, wound its way through the Mojave National Preserve, dumped you off right about there. So my wife goes, okay, well, I first decided, hey, let's go, let's take this road here into Henderson, get to the 95, we'll take the 95 all the way down to the 40, and then we'll take the 40 over. And my wife goes, well, there's this road here, and that's gonna save more time. We don't have to do all that backtracking. And I said, okay, I know SEMA exists. I know that I've been off that exit a couple times before. No, it wasn't for the date shakes. But I knew that there was a road and it extended outward. And I'm just like, okay, this is going to be one of those weird backcountry desert roads, and let's just go for it. So we then continued our little journey down past Gene, past Prim, and we get to right about here. Road closed. We get off the freeway. The entire road section beyond this little date shake shop is closed. Okay? So we go, crap. Okay? So I pull up Waze and I see, oh, hey, there's a road called Kell Baker Road. which is one of the off-ramps into Baker. Now, anyone who has ever driven the I-15 through Baker knows this place by the gigantic thermometer. Back in the 90s, there was a Bun Boy restaurant at the base of said thermometer. And, hey, Mecca, how you doing? And this was always known as the tallest thermometer in the world. So here at Baker, there's a road called Kell Baker Road. Kell Baker Road kind of goes and pops right onto the 40. So then we go, okay, well, we got Kell Baker Road, okay? I know exactly where that is. You know, it's in Baker. Okay, let's get to Baker. So then we start driving to Baker, and gridlock. There is one street in Baker that everything of importance resides on. It was bumper-to-bumper traffic the entire length of the 1.5 mile town. And there is a bridge going over the 15 freeway that is supposed to be where this Kell Baker Road is. We took a full hour to traverse 1,000 feet in Baker. And I figured out it was closed. Between Baker and Barstow, my friends, there is nothing. There is no exits. There are no off-ramps. There are no places of interest. There is no way that anything connects to anything between here and here. There is nothing but desert. So, my wife has a panic attack. Here we have 3 small children. We've already been driving for about 10 hours. And we have 0 options at this point to continue on the 15 South. So then I decided, I looked at the map, we pulled off in the north side, or just 1 street north of the main drag in Baker. We were 30 miles from Barstow when the tacos began to take hold. I have had that happen before. Okay, it's not a pleasant experience, and thankfully it did not happen on this trip. So anyway, so I figured out right here, there is it's about right here, right before State Line. There is a road called Nipton Road. Now, this road takes you straight over, literally a straight shot with very small turns all the way over to the 95. Nipton is about right here, okay? So then here is Searchlight. Now, any of you that know your senator history knows that a famous Democrat dirtbag known as Harry Reid is from the city of Searchlight. Now, Harry Reid has made a Nipton is like literally right about here. It is in the state of Nevada. Nipton is from Fallout New Vegas. Oh, okay. Well, Nipton legitimately is a city out in the middle of nowhere, and it was like legitimately a ghost town. Like they had it felt like I was in Knott's Berry Farm Old West, except there was nothing. I mean, I didn't see like a single person, a single house. I mean, we found the Hotel California. Okay? We literally found Hotel California in Nipton, Nevada. Okay? I don't even know. I can't even tell you what has gone on in that city. It is the city of magic. Magic of what? Making everyone disappear from the face of the planet? I don't even know. So, we decide we're going to start here, and we're going to travel all the way up here, all the way over here, and then all the way here, and then we're going to take this road all the way to there, and then go all the way to Barstow, and then down, and then back home to down there. Okay? So, yeah. Let me add another color. So here's how our drive actually went. Okay? So, we start here, blowing by 80 plus miles an hour. Get up here. We're going about 65 miles an hour here until we hit the 95. And right here at Searchlight. So at Searchlight, there were 2 gas stations in Searchlight. And both of these gas stations were filled to the brim with cars. There was at least 5 to 6 cars deep going into each section of the pumps, except for the diesel only. The diesel only had had 1 bus and 1 trailer, and it had 2 pumps that were non-functional. So I wound up asking the gal, there was a gal towing a big A trailer, and I said, hey, are you almost done? And she goes, yes. And I go, groovy, I am going to take your spot. She goes, go for it. So then my wife actually ran interference from me so I could back my car up and back it into the next aisle over, because I have a 2024 Yukon Denali, and it is a diesel engine. So I gassed up my car, and I had about 450 miles worth of fuel economy in my tank. And I said, great, I don't have to fill up anymore the entire rest of the day. So what happened was I get to here, and then we start flying down here until here at Laughlin. Okay? We're flying. I'm flying at about 85 miles an hour going south. Okay? There's cars doing the 85 mile an hour conga line, which always makes me feel safe because the cops can't pull us all over. So I make sure I'm in the middle of the pack so the cops peel off the front and the back, and I just slow down and get away safely. So I get to here, and then from here, we start hitting bumper to bumper traffic the entire rest of the way southward until we hit here. Now, my wife and I were wondering, why the heck are we in bumper to bumper traffic right now? What on earth is causing this? And not only it was bumper to bumper traffic, it was sporadic stoppages, like full-blown stoppages of traffic. Now, I don't know what on earth is going on at this point, but I know we are legitimate stop and go, and I am behind a tractor. I am behind a semi. I can't see anything that's going on in front of the semi. So, we go stop and go all the way down the green until we hit here. So what we figured out, number one, there was a railroad crossing that just goes over this 95 2-lane highway at this point. Because through here, between Searchlight and Laughlin, it's actually a 2 lanes, both directions divided highway. So we're flowing really good. But once we get past Laughlin, it goes to a one lane each direction combined freeway. So southbound completely jammed, northbound free flowing for the most part. So we get here. What's up, Creffy?
Start over.
No, shut up. So
Start over.
nope. So we get all the way down to here. Number one, we figured out it's a railroad crossing. Number two, it's a T-junction. We're going north-south. A whole line of cars is coming from east to west and from west to east, and they have a stop sign, and we don't. So we start going, and then people start right, I see people are right turning. And I'm thinking most of the big stoppages were because of a legitimate railroad crossing. So finally we get to here, and we start driving this way. And from about here all the way to here, going eastbound, solid bumper to bumper traffic. That line is not moving, okay? So we get all the way down to the 40. At the 40, there is a gas station at the 40. Thankfully, our direction was not the right of way into the gas station. Our direction was the opposite way of the line to get into this gas station. This gas station had a line from the entrance all the way back to the freeway on-ramp, about 1.5 miles down the road. Okay? So, we start going on the 40 westbound. It is clear. It is clear. It is like the 15 freeway on an average day. You know, we got some cars, you know, some Mexican roadblocks, some semis passing semis. So, we're blowing through. It is solid cars from about here all the way over to there and beyond in the opposite direction. It is solid 2 lanes of cars. And on top of that, there are 2 frontage roads on either side of the 40. Both frontage roads were solid cars the entire way as well. So my wife and I are just I'm driving and she's just in the front seat. My oldest daughter is in the back with iPad and a Switch. My middle daughter is in the middle seat. She's been watching movies the entire time. My son, who is 4, surprisingly is actually passed out at this point. He was, and I have to give my children credit. I do not like traveling with my children. I know this is shocking, but the actual traveling part with my children typically has been an absolute just unbearable pain in the butt. But my children on this trip back were fantastic. And I have to give kudos where kudos are due. My kids toughed this one out. They did really good. There were a couple of small blow-ups. Basically, whenever the older daughter and the middle daughter had to actually interact, there was a blow-up. But thankfully, there wasn't many of those. I would say probably less than 3, which that's a miracle. And the fact that I found a diesel place over in Searchlight that I was able to get gas within 30 minutes was a miracle. The fact that I found this road and it wasn't locked up, jammed, I'd say about 80% of the way was a miracle. And the fact that we simply got through everything and only added about 4 extra hours to our trip, because I was almost to the point I was just going to say, let's just go back to Vegas, spend the night. We'll spend the night either at my aunt's house in North Vegas, or we'll just say screw it and get a hotel room somewhere cheap, just crash for the night. We're not making it home. We made it home yesterday, but we left at 6 in the morning Utah time, and we didn't get back until 9 o'clock California time. And it was unbearable. Because it was, I mean, and also my car, if I had the car I had 2 years ago, this would have been a major problem. If this trip would have been the trip I took 2 years ago. Now, for those of you that are somewhat new to the stream, you don't know the travails I had with my last car. My last car was in the shop 6 times within 6 months, and I had less than 100,000 miles on this car. It needed a full, I wound up replacing all the lifters. The idiot that replaced the lifters one of the times obviously wasn't going to mechanic school on install the spark plug tight day, because apparently that got loose somehow, and that required another trip back to the shop, because heck if I know anything about cars nowadays. So Now, what happened was all the way back up in Bountiful, which is all the way up here. I drove my car up. Now this was that trip. This was a couple years ago. So, drove my car up. I already had lifters replaced once. A couple lifters were replaced already. And I drive all the way up. And things are going pretty good until probably somewhere around here. Between Beaver and Provo. Somewhere between Beaver and Provo, I get the same thing from my engine. And it's just you know, it sounds like something is horrendously wrong with my engine. So I take it in to a GM dealer up in Bountiful. And they said, oh my gosh, yep, you got a lifter problem. I'm so sorry about this. Here's the problem. We don't have the parts to replace the lifters in your car. And I said, okay, well, this is a problem because I don't want to drive this car with this problem. And they said, we understand, but you're going to have to, unfortunately, you're going to have to wait. Because we got to get these parts special ordered, and that we just don't have them in stock. And I was like, okay, how long is it going to take? Well, it's going to take about 3 extra days. So I waited in Bountiful 3 extra days. My parents are already like, okay, when are you coming home? And I'm just like, I can't drive my car. I can't drive this car because I don't want to be somewhere in here, and this is winter. I don't want to be somewhere in here where it's freezing, where it's 20 degrees, 0 degrees. It gets 0 degrees around these parts during the winter. You know, south of Provo, like right about here's Nephi. You go Nephi, between Nephi and Beaver, it gets to be 0 degrees. I'm not chancing that I'm in a freezing, you know, sub-freezing temperatures and my car broke down. I'm not chancing that. I'm not doing it. So then we're talking flights. We're talking alternate ways to get my family home. So then, you know, they'll be able to get the kids back in school and I'll be able to go back and work. And they finally got the parts, got it all put together. Start driving south. I get to about Provo. Same engine issue happens. Okay? The same sound of the engine. And I'm just like, you know what? We can't turn around. We got to keep going. I've already wasted enough time. So we kept driving and we kept driving and we kept driving. And thankfully, my car actually made it all the way home. Okay? My car made it home. Now, I took my car into Pasadena and I said, hey, guess what, guys? Me again. Yeah. My car still doesn't work. I've now taken it into the shop 4 times. Okay? I've taken this, and this is my 5th time I've taken this car into the shop. The engine still isn't working properly. And they go, okay, well, what are the issues? I was like, well, when I get between X RPM and X RPM, when I'm going uphill, it does this da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da sound with the engine, and I've already taken this in before, and they've had to replace lifters. So I know that it's a lifter problem. You need to check the lifters, and you need to replace more lifters, I guess. I don't know how many lifters you got to replace. I don't know how many are in this stupid freaking car, but I would think after taking it into the shop 4 times, you've replaced all of them and said, F it. But no, of course not. They said, okay, well, we'll take a look at it. They called me up a day later. They said, we're sorry, we cannot replicate your problem. And I said, oh, so you're calling me a liar then? Oh, no, Mr. Farrell. No, we're not. No. I was like, no. You're calling me a liar. Because I just drove my family from Salt Lake all the way down to California, over 360 miles, with my butt cheeks at a pucker factor of 20, because this car sounds like it's about to die when it goes up any small incline. Okay? I freaking need this car fixed, and I need it fixed now. Well, we're sorry, we can't replicate it. Okay, so you're telling me I have to wait until my car actually legitimately breaks down in the middle of the road, Lord knows where, before you actually take a look at it. Well, no, we're sorry, but we just can't get it replicated. I was like, okay, fine. You want to take a drive with me? We'll take a drive. We'll take it down the 57. We'll take it down the 57. We'll take the 210 down the 57. And I'll make a U-turn about 5 miles south on the 57. We'll go up the incline from the 10 to the 210, and I guarantee you I will make that sound happen. I know exactly how to replicate it. I can do it right now. And they said, no, we can't do that. I was like, okay, fine. So basically you're telling me I have to put my entire family in danger before you are willing to actually address this problem with my car. And they said, well, we're not really doing it that way. No, this is exactly what you're doing. Put this on the record. I am telling you my car is broken. And if I get in a major accident, I am suing the crap out of you. Because I am telling you there is something wrong with my car, and you are refusing to fix it. And they go, well, there's just nothing that we can do. I was like, fine, just understand, I am extremely pissed off at this. You need to understand this. So I hung up the phone, and it went another 3 weeks until finally I got an error code. Finally, I get my car was flashing danger Will Robinson, and finally it wasn't. They finally were able to take it in and finally fix the problem. So basically, a couple months later, my mother, who also has a Yukon, she also got a 2021 Yukon. I had a 2021 Yukon SLE. She had a 2021 Yukon Denali. Her entire engine died in Las Vegas. Straight up seized up, straight up quit, couldn't turn the car on, couldn't put it in neutral, because of all the electrical stuff in the car. Absolutely died in the middle of Vegas. And it was after that my parents were like, yeah, I think it's about time we lemon law both of these cars. So thankfully my parents and our business manager lemon lawed both my car and my mother's car, and we got like legitimately 80% of our money back on the cars. Like they prorated it to where we only paid for using the car like a year. Because this was all within 1 calendar year of me acquiring this car. So basically we got it upwards to 90% back on our purchase. So then we wound up using that to purchase the car that I have, which is a diesel, which made this drive a heck of a lot nicer. So anyway, that was the travails that I had driving back from Utah yesterday. So yeah, I am going to be clipping this whole thing and posting it so environmentalists know you suck. Okay. Back and now on to Square Enix's Final Fantasy 14. Okay, you guys can talk now.
I stopped listening like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, I know you don't care. I know you don't care, Nog.
Why would you stop listening after you came in and requested him to start over from the beginning? Were you not going to be listening if he restarted the story?
Exactly. He told me no, so I stopped listening.
No, man. Yeah, that whole thing, man. So then on top of that, I mean, my father-in-law basically had a stroke while we were up in Utah, and on top of that, they were my father-in-law, mother-in-law were supposed to take our
your sister-in-law
beloved sister-in-law.
I understood that reference.
Yes.
So I married an ex-murderer.
Yes. So she legitimately they were supposed to take her from Salt Lake all the way to Oklahoma. So I was actually afraid I was going to be driving a moving truck from Salt Lake to Oklahoma with a dog in the cab. I was legitimately afraid that was going to be my lot in life now. Thankfully,
Well, I mean, I could tell you that had you been driving to Oklahoma, you wouldn't have been on the 15.
I wouldn't have been on the 15. My wife would have hated everything. The both of us actually talked about this while we were driving, and I was just like, I'm not gonna lie, I was afraid I was gonna have to drive that stupid truck all the way to Oklahoma. She goes, if you were not in this car with me, I do not know what I would have done. I honestly have no idea what I would have done. I would have broken down and cried right there in Baker, and I simply do not know how I would have gotten everyone home. I don't know. So yeah.
Basically, what she would have done is she would have gone house hunting. She'd established a new residence in Baker because she just would not have been able to go further.
Well, okay.
Probably get a job at a local fast food place to be able to support the 3 kids.
Here's
the
kicker.
That's her new life. That's her life. That's what she's got.
Here's the
Thank
kicker.
you for not needing to drive to Oklahoma.
Here's the kicker, though. The kicker was actually at 3 p.m. Pacific time yesterday, they opened the southbound lanes on the 15. We were already halfway down the 95 portion of our journey at that point. So we were thinking about it, and we were just like, would we have even known? We didn't even know. And if we would have just gone south, would it actually have been faster to continue onward on the 15 or do what we did? And we're just like, we have no way of knowing. We absolutely do not know how that would have gone. So yeah, it was definitely the journey of journeys yesterday. That was by far my worst 15 from Utah to California driving experience I have ever had. And I have made that trip dozens of times at this point of my life. Because basically, oh, go ahead.
Okay, so if I'm understanding the gist of this, there was a protest that happened that kept you from getting home reasonably?
No. It was a truck that had lithium-ion, a massive amount of lithium-ion batteries in it that got into a wreck and caught fire just north of Barstow.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. Basically...
That kind of environmentalist.
Yes, that kind of environmentalist. The ones that believe, electric vehicles are so environmentally friendly. They're the way of the future. Yeah, let's completely disregard the amount of child slave labor in Africa it takes to dig said lithium-ion batteries. How much insane environmental garbage is created through the refinement of said lithium-ion batteries. And the fact that in Florida, whenever there's a massive hurricane event, there are electric vehicles that spontaneously combust. Because when you take salt water and pour it over an electric vehicle battery, it shorts itself out and burns. And on top of that, so you know how I said there is absolutely nothing in a lot of that area that I drove yesterday? Do you know what I did not see once? An electric vehicle charging station, kids. Yeah, when we left Nipton Road from the 15, the nearest charging station is in State Line. So that's just north of where we left. When we got back on the freeway, when we went off Nipton Road to go to the 95, down to the 4E, and back to Barstow, there was not one single electric vehicle charging station on the entire way. And that's about 150 plus miles. Yeah, and it was also 110 degrees for over half the drive. So, quick trivia question, Will. What does extreme heat do to a charged battery?
Initiates happy fun time.
It severely decreases the amount of said battery to hold a charge. So, what does that mean for an electric vehicle car, kids? That means it's only going about 70% of the distance that it did with a full charge in normal operating conditions. Yay! So yeah, basically anyone who had an EV, your best bet was just park that puppy in Baker, because you ain't going nowhere. Boom. Yes, Rico. Boom. That's about right, Mecca. Yeah, no, it was absolutely not good if you had an electrical vehicle yesterday on the 15. Still not good today, because there's reports of people literally taking 15 hours to get from California to Vegas. And going from California to Vegas typically takes about 3.5 hours, kids. Yeah.
At this point, what I'd like to suggest, anybody needing to go from California to Vegas,
don't
go to the airport.
Yeah, basically, you're not driving from California to Vegas right now. Just don't.
And hope you're not flying Delta.
Yeah. Which is funny because
that's a completely other conversation, folks.
Now, what's actually funny is my mom, last weekend, when we drove up to Utah, my mom flew up because my oldest niece had a swim meet. It was a Utah State Senior Championships meet, up near where my younger sister lives. So my older sister drove with her daughter up from St. George up to the Jordan area.
Wait. She's an Aggie?
No. No.
Oh, the state of Utah.
The state of Utah Senior Swimming Championship. So basically, basically this is like a mixture between high school and college kids.
Okay.
Yeah. Basically, if you're fast enough, you can go to this swim meet. That's what it is. So my mom goes up. Her flight on Delta actually got canceled. coming back on Sunday. So she winds up hanging out in the Salt Lake airport for 6 hours trying to get her luggage, because she already checked in, already deposited her bags, and then they canceled her flight. So she had to hang out in the airport for 6 hours. My younger sister goes, "Look, Mom, I'm just going to pick you up. Take you back to my place, get some dinner, relax, hang out. I'll drive back. I'll pick up your bags. Just, you're okay." So she wound up getting a flight the next day. It was just that. I mean, I don't even know. Minus the whole CrowdStrike thing. Unless if it was because of the CrowdStrike thing.
It was.
Oh, okay. So because of that, I actually have to go to a Spanish ward tomorrow and fix their computer. Yeah.
Apparently, Delta was like 90% of all their software.
Yep.
Was affected by the CrowdStrike issue. Whereas like other companies, anywhere from 5 to 30% or whatever. From what I understand, Delta was like, yeah, we pretty much run everything on this.
Yeah. No, and the funny thing about the whole CrowdStrike thing, it was one file. It's one file that caused this entire mess. It was one buggy file. And the reason I know this is because so my calling in the church is IT tech specialist. So in other words, I'm kind of in charge of all of the computers for all of the buildings in our stake. So I get an email from the church basically saying, yeah, you know that whole CrowdStrike thing? Yeah, it's affected a lot of our computers. So if you have a computer that's affected, here's what you got to do. So basically, I got to reboot the computer into safe mode, go into command prompt, manually type and search out the said file in question, delete it in DOS, and then restart the computer, and that fixes the whole problem. Yeah. And of course, it had to be the Spanish word, so I had to try and explain all this crap in Spanish. That was fun. Oh, man. I am seriously never going to leave that calling. I am never going to be released from my stake technology specialist calling. Just not happening. Alright. So, back to the game. Back to the game. So, we are chasing down some Frito Banditos. Here in, where the frick am I? Mia Cabexoma. That's where I am. And we are fighting some banditos. Ooh. So overall the vacation went really well. Like I said, my poor father-in-law appeared to have suffered a stroke on Wednesday morning at about sometime around 4 in the morning. However, he is recovering. He was
That's good to hear.
He was discharged on Thursday afternoon. So now he's at home recovering. My sister-in-law, who is a nurse, is actually hanging out with him. So that's really good. I got to this right first. Excuse me. But yeah, so Krefe and I wound up doing daddy daycare on Thursday, which was fun. We had a good time. No, Wednesday. We wound up doing it on Wednesday. So we took the kids to a zoo. And this was, oh, dude, this zoo was top tier. You know the zoo is top tier when one of their exhibits is the American crow. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, they had a single black crow in a cage, and they said, "Hey, this is a zoo exhibit, kids." It was...
We'll go again.
You'll go again. 10 out of 10, we'll go again. Well, if you ask my middle daughter, she gave the zoo a 10 out of 10. Why? Because she could pet a bunny. That's all it takes.
Ladies and gentlemen, keep in mind that this little girl does have a rabbit at home.
Yes. And for those of you that are longtime viewers, this is my daughter who goes by Minty on stream. So yeah, Minty was absolutely a fan of this very, very, very small and quasi-pathetic zoo. But I mean, it had some monkeys. It had a couple parrots. It had some good stuff. You know, it wasn't all super ghetto. But yeah, this was definitely worth the $30 total we spent between Krefe, me, and 4 children. So yeah. Oh, by the way, let me show a picture on my phone. I gotta share this picture real quick. Let's see here. Right. No, not there. Yep. I gotta share this picture. That, my friends, is a McDonald's ordering kiosk with a blue screen of death.
Thank you, CloudStrike.
I had never seen that before. But apparently, even the blue screen of death affects the McDonald's ordering screen. That was one of those things. I walk into McDonald's, I go, what is this? Oh, I also got to ride a legitimate mechanical bull. That was fun. My daughter videotaped it. I don't have it on this computer, but I'll get it on tomorrow and I'll show it off first thing Monday morning. Or first thing Monday night on the stream. There you go. But yeah, it was pretty funny. Yeah, and yes, I completely got bucked off the bull. Because I started doing really good at the beginning, and my wife said, hey, you know what? So the guy that runs the bull, he's got two little levers on his little control stand. One controls the intensity, the other controls the direction that the mechanical bull rotates. So basically, my wife said, after about $3 of the bull, I saw that operator go. He basically ramped it up to full amplitude on the difficulty after about 3, because he saw that I kind of looked like I knew what I was doing, and he's just like, I'm not letting this California kid with sandals ride the bull for the full time. No, I'm gonna buck this kid off. Yeah, it was fun. Oh yeah, because we took the kids to a rodeo, so that was a good time. So it was let me think, bull riding, steer wrestling, cattle roping, barrel racing, bareback bronco riding, saddleback bronco riding, breakaway roping, team roping. I think that's about it. I think that was all the events that we got to watch. So we basically watched like almost the full litany of events, and it was a good time. It was a good time. We had great seats. We saw all the action. There was a complete dirtbag husband and wife that was sitting in front of us, and they accused my daughter of kicking their seat, and I'm just like, okay. And I turned to my daughter. This is Minty. I was like, okay, Minty, don't kick their seat. And she's like, but Daddy, I wasn't. And I leaned real close to her ear. I go, honey, these people are obviously jerks. I know you didn't kick their seat. I was watching you. I'm just making them shut up and go away, okay? Just say yes, Daddy, and we're good, okay? We're good. So, yeah.
I mean, at that point, there's a certain extent that I understand that, like, young me, if my dad or mom had whispered that to me, I'd be like, okay, you're telling me to kick their seat now.
No. She knew. No, these are people I absolutely did not. I did not want to throw down with these people. It wasn't like I was intimidated by these guys. Like, absolutely not intimidating at all. But at the same time, they looked like the quintessential, I live in Utah, I live in Alpine, Utah, so I have money, and I'm entitled to sit in the cheap seats and be treated like a celebrity. I'm like, dude, you're in the freaking cheap seats, okay? We got this whole Mexican family behind us completely kicking our seats every 10 seconds, okay? You want to switch with us? No. I think you can handle one small kick to the seat, even if it didn't happen. Which, I knew it didn't happen. I 100% knew it didn't happen. But these people are idiots.
My kid, on the other hand, was being obnoxious.
That is unfortunately true. But his seats were separated. So the whole arena is a big oval, and our seats happened to be at kind of like a break point, because obviously you can't really curve seating that much. So they had like a straight line, then a break, then another straight line, then an angle break, and then more seats. So whoever on earth picked our seats had the glorious idea of splitting up the entire group. So, I mean, the good news is I was pretty far away from our sister-in-law that I don't necessarily like too much. But unfortunately, their daughter and our daughters were not behaving that well that night either. Reed, the burrito. The burrito was not behaving well at all that entire night. It was way too late for him, but we promised the kid fireworks. So they actually did fireworks and drones. So it was cool. You got the best of both worlds. We got a pretty sweet little drone show, and then a whole mess of fireworks. So kids were happy. Because we were thinking about going to another rodeo, a different one, that was a little bit closer to where we were, but they only said they were only doing a drone show. We're just like, yep, forget that. All right. Oh, we got a disappointed artisan. Oh no, too bad, so sad. See
Okay,
here.
so stupid question for you about the Dawntrail story.
Okay.
Could the story have taken place? Okay, so my understanding of what the story is that you're following around this female Rothgar, and she is participating in some sort of tournament or whatnot to establish herself as, I guess, what the next heir to the
king
country, or
of her, the next heir of the nation. Correct.
So could they have presented this story as a game standalone without inserting the Warrior of Light into it, and just, with her as the protagonist?
Okay, so couple things about that. So Endwalker basically wrapped up everything that had been going on for all the past expansions. So theoretically, this
kicks off a new big story arc.
Did someone seriously just set off a firework down here? Hold on. 1 second. Huh. I thought I heard someone set off a firework. I mean, we have... I have this set of neighbors that lives about 5 houses down from me. They don't necessarily party that often, but whenever they do, they party. And these guys decided tonight, after all the crap we went through last night, they decided tonight, hey, you know what? We got a 4-year-old that has a birthday party. We're going to have it go until all hours of the night, and we're going to blast crappy Mexican rap music all night long. And we're just going to let the kids bounce outside in the front yard in a bounce house completely unsupervised in the middle of the night because it's a 4-year-old's birthday party. This is very reminiscent of the a-holes that lived down the street from me in my last house that held a rave for a 4-year-old. They literally got an electronic DJ to blast very, very, very bad techno music for a 4-year-old's birthday party. And then the next morning, there were about a dozen cases of Coronas lining the street. We're just like...
So what's the over-under on the number of cases of Corona outside their house?
Well,
that morning.
Unfortunately, our city now has those gigantar trash cans that are actually given to us by the trash company. So not going to be able to get an accurate count. But I would guess from the amount of cars... Well, okay. It's hard to guess how many people are actually at this party because the Episcopalian church down the street from us, that is literally across the street from said jerk neighbor's house, was also holding an event earlier tonight, and they had like live music. They had some gospel singer come and perform outdoor at their church, which I got no problems with this. Honestly, I have no problems with loud music as long as it's done by like 10:30 at night. Or, I don't know, why don't you start the party for the 2-year-old at 2 o'clock in the afternoon? It was only 95 today. It wasn't 110. The weather would have been fine for an outdoor party for a 4-year-old at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Why do you need the party for a 4-year-old to extend until 10:30, 10:45 at night? You see, these are the questions that some parents, I do not understand you people. It's like, look, are you actually having a birthday party or are you having a kegger? I mean, pick a lane. You know, if it's a party for a 22-year-old, okay, that can be a kegger. Not for a 4-year-old. I don't get it.
Okay, by that logic, the parents of said 4-year-old might be 22-year-olds that decide, okay, party's for us as well. We'll have a kegger.
No, they're older than me. They're in their 40s or 50s. I mean, I think it's actually one of their.
How do they have a 4-year-old then? That just makes no sense.
I think they're in their 50s or 60s, and I think it's actually a grandkid.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, that makes it even worse. Okay, it's like the grandparents are throwing the kegger for their son's 4-year-old. It's just like,
okay. So,
why?
Is it okay? So at least please tell me it's a multi-generational household. So the 4-year-old lives with the 50 to 60-year-olds. Because if it's just, a 4-year-old that comes to visit on occasion because their parents bring them over, don't have the party at Grandpa and Grandma's house.
You see, I don't know these people. Like, I don't know. I mean, I've seen them before.
And anything is just pure speculation, so I'm just like...
Right. Yeah. No, so I know that there are, 50 plus. There are at least 50 plus. I know they have a son that was in the Marines because they threw a massive party akin to what's going on right now when their son graduated from the Marine Academy. And it was that night I actually went over at around 11:30 at night while they were still blasting the music with the bass. And it felt like they were partying in my backyard. And I went over and I walked straight up to the DJ and I said, hey, my family lives 4 houses down. I got 3 children. One of them is sick with the flu. They can't go to sleep right now. I'm telling you right now, you need to cut the bass. You can keep the volume. Cut the bass. You need to turn the bass down by at least 75%. Or I will call the cops on this party and they will disband this party. Okay? I have canceled parties like this before. I have no problems doing it when it gets 11:30 at night and you are completely disrespecting all the neighbors in this area. So you need to cut the bass now. Because, yeah, those of you that are fans of this stream know that I have a history of neighbors that are complete a-holes and have no respect for anyone that's outside of their property lines. They have zero respect.
Did they comply?
Yeah, they complied. Oh, wait, that night?
Yeah.
Actually, yes, they did. It took about 10 minutes. But they finally backed off on the base to where it was an acceptable level. The problem is my wife can't sleep. My wife absolutely cannot sleep if there's bass. She cannot wear earplugs. Like, it messes with her head's equilibrium. She simply cannot wear them to go to sleep. She has tried. Like, back with the whole poker player incident, she legitimately tried wearing earplugs. It would just screw up her head and her balance the whole next day, and she'd be completely off. She just can't do it. I, on the other hand, I have no problems. I have no problems wearing earplugs to go to sleep. But it was just becoming, I mean, back with the poker players, I straight up called the cops on them every single weekend at 11:30 at night. Just 11:30 on the dot, called the police, said, hey, look, I got these neighbors. They live here. They're playing poker, and it's literally 10 feet away from my bedroom. They're shouting. They're drinking. I know that there could be some illegal drugs going on because legitimately I've seen illegal drugs on the premises before. And, yeah, so I really would appreciate it if, and I've asked them multiple times to stop. They refuse to stop. Oh, and the funny thing was these poker players, I said, hey, can you guys just take this inside? I mean, seriously, it is far too late. We need to get some sleep. We're dead tired. And they go, well, if we go inside, we're going to wake our kids up.
Oh.
But you're keeping us up. You need to move this operation somewhere else, guys. Yeah, no, they refused, so I just continued to call the cops on them every single Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night when it was a 3-day weekend. Yeah, February's were fantastic.
Hello.
Hi, operator.
They didn't want to wake up their kids.
Uh-huh.
But they had no problem letting...
Yeah.
I don't understand that logic.
No, but I do know the wife was a pot smoker when she was a teenager, so I think that factors into it.
Glorious.
Well, and the husband played football for the University of Utah, so that's 2 major strikes against him.
I know, sounds like 2 bonuses to me.
I was calling him a retard, Crefe. Because he had brain injuries from football, and he actually thought it would be a good idea to play at the University of Utah. So that would make him double-tarded.
Depending on his age and what years he was playing. Utah didn't become relevant until Urban Meyer? That was 04?
I'm trying to think. I think he's a little older than me, so he would have been probably so like somewhere between 2000 and 2004, somewhere around there. It would have been like late 90s, early 2000s. That's about the age range he would have been playing. Let's see here. If there's one thing I've learned on this journey, it's how practiced you are at aiding those in need. A lot of times I don't have a choice, sweetie. I get thrown in these situations and forced to help people.
You don't get that fat boots till you help those people out.
Yeah, it's a thing. This is not a service. This is a capitalist economy. You got to work for your monies. Speaking of working for my monies, I wonder how much crap my retainers have sold. Oh, crap. Got another kamikaze beetle in here. All right. Let's see here. Rock. Ah. All right. Alright. Time to play I Spy with my little eye. Yeehaw. The dish is meant to be eaten hot, or else it'll lose its savor. You mean the dish is meant to be eaten hot, or the bacteria will wind up killing you. Or your bowels. Alright, what do we got? Alright, so we've inspected everything. Time to pimp my cookpot. Or stuff. All right. Going to the beach. But actually, truth be told, it is now 11:15. I am starting to get a bit tired. I am going to make a quick jaunt to check on my retainers real quick. Because I am shifting a massive amount of inventory over the market boards. So, oh yeah, 100%. I have made money. Let's see here. Nice. Oh yeah, one of my stupid maple clogs sold. Nothing like selling maple clogs for nearly 9,000 gil to some sucker that wants a quick turn in. Alright, and 37,000. Not too bad. Alright, let's see here. It's a lot of bait. And... oh, shoot. Let's see here. Let's see what this goes for. Yes. Does this cost? Yeah, it's not that. Okay. Oop. That's too many numbers. Alright, none of that is going to make me any money. Put that up for that much. Let's see here. Yeah, I'll be selling those for a loss. And I'll keep those for now. Alright, time to put up all those raw materials. Let's see here. Okay.
All right, now for Tim Tim. Nice, nearly 100,000. Yeah. Let's see, sold the earrings, ring bands, the mortar. Okay, that was my big ticket item. Nice. All right. See, what was that? What was that fishing? How many was needed? Let's see here. 5. You need 5 of them. So see if any of these are. No, none of those are worth anything really. All these raw materials. Let's see here. See here. Bought them all at 25. There you go. And 20. There you go. Oops. I must have thrown it back in the retainer's inventory. Whoops. All right. I think that is just about it. Oh, Mithrite Sand. Let's get rid of this. All right. All right. That is going to be it for me tonight. So, thank you all so much for tuning in. We'll be back on Monday night. No, Monday night. We're going to be back to normal schedule. So I will be playing a Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen on Monday night. We're going to be... I think we're at the point now where I can actually move on with the main story because I should have finished all the side quests that I can possibly do at this point in the game. So we'll be moving onward with the actual story. So thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you very much, Crefe, Operator, and Will for hanging out in voice chat tonight.
Of course.
Happy to be.
So we'll be back.
I was never here.
Yeah, you don't ever care about being here. So we'll be back on Monday night. Join the Discord, link in the description below. Hit a like, hit a follow if you do appreciate what we do here. And until later, my friends, good night, Isaiah Norris. Oh, wherever you are.
Wherever you are.
Good night, everyone. Good night.